Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube, and what we're going to make is a half a sheet cake. Now, I first want to tell you about the pan because I always get questions about the size that I'm using. This is a 12 by 18 by 2, so bears repeating, 12 by 18 by 2 inches, okay? I did grease it and dust it with flour, okay? You can use your parchment paper if you prefer, feel free. Now what we're going to be making in that half a sheet cake pan is what I like to call triple chocolate cake, or you can just call it double chocolate cake. The reason I call it triple is because I put a topping over it, which is chocolate. But if you probably would want to consider it a double chocolate half sheet cake. This is a great cake when you're needing it for a church social or you know, whatever it is, a baby shower, wedding, whatever the case may be, or birthday cake for, you know, large amount of people. And I have several half sheet cakes. So if you're looking for larger cakes, I mean, I have red velvet, I have chocolate, I have German chocolate, white, golden, yellow. Oh my gosh, I can't even think of all of them, you know, that I have. I mean, I have many of them on my channel. So if you're looking for large half sheet cake recipes, I really do have quite a bit. I've kind of lost count. But anyway, let's get started. What I like about this recipe, even though it's a large batch, it goes so quick and so fast. Well, you'll see in just a few moments here. Now, you can use your hand mixer if you prefer, but I like to use the stand because I think it's faster for the video. And I'm sorry, but I no longer put the recipe below the video, so hopefully I'll go slowly enough and clearly enough that you can jot it down, okay? So we first want to start off with a half a cup of butter. I went ahead, I cubed it, and then I actually melted it in my microwave and then let it cool down, because you're going to be adding eggs and you don't want to make scrambled eggs. So let it cool down. But it's a half a cup, melted and cooled. All right. And what I'm also going to be putting in is 1 cup of coffee. And it's I like it when it's either hot or quite warm when you use it. 1 cup, okay? And I just put that right into the butter. Okay, we'll just give it a quick stir. Okay. Now, the next thing, again, you really don't want it, you know, too hot. And same thing with the butter. You know, the coffee is just slightly warm from when I made it, but not hot enough to scramble these eggs. You need 4 eggs. I'm going to try to put them in one at a time, beat them in one at a time. That was 2, 3, and 4. And just mix them together that you know that they're combined, okay? The next thing that you're going to be putting in after your 4 eggs, you're going to put 1 cup of milk, okay? And that's generally been, you know, at room temperature. And again, I'm just giving it a stir. And you're also going to need oil. So you're going to be needing 2/3 of a cup of oil. Now, use whatever kind of oil you want. I really don't want to, you know, say to use one because it usually, well, everyone has difference of opinion. So I find it's just easier for you to select 2/3 of a cup of your choice of oil. And just put that all in there. Okay. And the last liquid that you're going to be putting in is 3 teaspoons of vanilla. So as you see, we have just our liquids all combined and stirred. It almost just looks like a cup of coffee with a lot of cream in it, is what it looks like. So let's work on our dry now. We need 3½ cups of your all-purpose flour. We're also going to be putting in 3 cups of granulated sugar, but I'm just going to combine it all together. And with my little whisk, I'm just giving it a stir. All right. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfectly mixed or stirred. We're just giving it a kind of a quick stir. Now, to make it chocolate, and that we're using that it's a double chocolate cake, we're going to be putting in, and I've just lost my thoughts for a second here. We're going to be putting in 1 1/3 cup of unsweetened baking cocoa. This isn't the kind that you make, you know, that out of the packages for hot cocoa. This is the unsweetened, and 1 1/3. And again, I'm just giving it a really light little stir of that unsweetened cocoa. Okay. Now, if you don't want to do it this way and you just, you know, want to put it in, you know, one consecutively after the other, you can, but I just find that this is faster and it's easier. All right. Whoops. Next thing that we're going to be putting in is your baking soda, and you're going to put 3 teaspoons of baking soda in. 3 teaspoons. All right. And you're also going to be putting in 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So 2 of baking powder, and I'm just going to give that a quick stir. And the last thing that you're going to be putting in is salt, and you're going to put a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And again, just giving it a good stir. Doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of quickly, as you can see. Okay, and now I'm going to just slowly start adding this at low speed so that, of course, this doesn't go all over the kitchen. And then I'm just going to grab a measuring cup to just kind of get me started here rather than tipping the bowl. Whoops. All right. Had my first spill here. This probably be a better way to approach it from this side. And then I'm just going to keep adding it. Until I get it all combined. On the other side there. All right, I got it all in. A little bit of splash. And now I'm going to turn the mixer on just up, just to make sure that it's well combined, but not to overbeat it. So I'm going to warn you about the sound. I just raised my speed at the highest, just the last few seconds, if you notice, to make sure that it's well combined. I'm going to take my paddle out here, get my excess off. Don't like wasting product because it's expensive to bake these days. And then I'm just going to clean the sides of my bowl with my spatula. Make sure get to the bottom where sometimes that paddle doesn't reach the way it should. Now this makes a very silky, smooth batter. It just smells, oh, the chocolate just smells so good. And again, this is one of those recipes that when you're baking it, your whole kitchen will just smell so good. Okay, so you can see it's quite silky and it's smooth, and yet I didn't overbeat it because I'm just afraid that if I overbeat it, then you know, the cake will become tough, and you want this cake to come out very light and very moist. I'm going to just rinse my hands here quickly. Okay, and then we're just going to simply pour this into my half sheet here. And you'll be able to see how pretty. I'm just going to raise it up like that. I hope that it's in the camera shot of showing how silky, satiny, silky smooth this batter is. And then of course just spread it out as evenly as you can. Get into those corners of that pan as best as you can. And even it out so you don't have high and low spots. And I want to get it all out because I want to use every drop of this. And of course I want to have my cake come out to a half a sheet. So let me get the rest out of here. And I'm just gonna grab a knife here and take off my excess. There we go. Okay. All right, maybe just one last cleaning that all out. Okay. Now, once you do that, you're going to bake this at 325 degrees. And it could take you anywhere from, 45 minutes. It could even go up to, say, 52 minutes. It really, you know, depends. You know, our oven's set up also differently, that kind of thing. So I start checking mine after, well, about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, that kind of thing. And when it comes out of the oven, of course, put the pan on a cooling rack because you really want it to settle a little bit before you start cutting it, okay? Otherwise it kind of breaks up. And then get rid of your air bubbles. I don't want to do this too loud for you, but just kind of tap your pan a little bit before you put it in that 325 degree oven, okay? And like I said, this particular cake, it just it bakes up pretty quick. It really does. I think it's because of the light nature of the batter. I really do. So I'm going to rinse my hands one more time, and then I want to show you the finished product. I'm working with raw egg. Okay. And this is how it's going to come out. Now, the reason I called it the triple chocolate in the beginning of the video is on this particular cake, and by the way, you can put whatever kind of frosting, buttercream frosting that you want to put on it, vanilla, buttercream, whatever kind of icing or frosting. What I like to do is I actually melt morsels, you know, for you know what we put in chocolate chip cookies, and I melt that with a little bit of solid shortening, about a tablespoon to about 2.5 cups of the morsels. And this is the milk chocolate morsels, but I mean you can you know, use whatever flavor that you want over this double chocolate cake. You know, whether it's butterscotch or white morsels or dark chocolate. But anyway, I just melt it in a bowl in a microwave, and then I just take my knife and I cover the cake with it. And I've had so many more compliments when I put this type of topping on it, or frosting or glaze, whatever you prefer to call it. I got more compliments when I did that than when I even put the buttercream on. So, you know, it really depends on the person and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna cut into it. Now this is a hard surface, you know, and I kind of like it too, because if I'm, you know, once I take it out of the pan and I'm transferring it over and bringing it to someone's house or whatever the case may be, you know, it doesn't come off because it, you know, it dries hard. So it's really nice, and it's really great for like picnics, that kind of thing, because again, I'm not worried about that frosting, you know, going all over the place, that kind of thing. So I'm just going to take a small piece out here. Now the top will break up a little bit sometimes because, you know, we have just a coating on it. Let me grab a little plate to plate it. I'm going to try to get this out without breaking too much out. That first piece is a little bit more difficult. Okay, there we go. Didn't break up too bad. And I don't know whether or not you can see, but how moist when I push on it and it comes right back. It's so delicate. This double chocolate cake is not dense at all. When you bite into it, it just feels, you know, it like melts in your mouth. It really does. This cake is so delicious, you could just dust powdered sugar over it or just leave it without anything. And I've had people just tell me how delicious it is. And it's so moist. It really is. It's not heavy at all. It's such a delicate, light cake. So whether you cover it with a glaze or powdered sugar or a buttercream frosting, I really think you're going to like this cake if you try it. Now, if you do try it, please, you know, tell me, write to me. I always like to hear from you. Or if you have a question or a comment, I'll answer in a timely fashion. But I would just love to hear, you know, if you've tried it and you'd like it and that type of thing. So I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. That's the only place that I put my videos on. So if you write that question or you tell me about that you tried this cake, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that, that you did write to me and see it and be able to respond. So thank you for watching. Be safe, be well, and I'll see you soon.